Hello, Teachers on Fire. Welcome back to another edition of the Chromebook Classroom Update. My name is Tim Cavey. I'm an 8th grade teacher, assistant principal, and the host of the Teachers on Fire podcast. It's my honor to be joined today, once again, by my friend and colleague, John Sowash from the Chromebook Classroom. John, how are you doing today?
Tim, great to be back. So many things to talk about. Let's give everybody some updates on the world of Chromebooks and G Suite for education, or should we say Google Workspace for education. That's right. If you just got used to saying the first name, don't worry. Google's already switched it, and they'll probably switch it again.
That's right. They keep us on our toes. Well, this is a lot of fun. We've got Peter Cavey jumping in from LinkedIn saying first and Phil Cavey saying second. So we've got
I see how this is working. So who's older?
Well, I'm the oldest, and we've got Phil in second place, and then brother Peter is coming in at fourth. So Cavey brothers, welcome here tonight.
Right, well, I didn't know this was a brother competition because I have to invite mine. I've got 4 brothers and 2 sisters that I can invite to join the show. So we can have a Sowash marathon if you want to.
Oh my God! Well, that's what we need to do to increase our viewership here. Is just bring all the siblings on board.
True.
There we go.
We got a lot.
Well, speaking of a lot, John, Google came out with some really big announcements in the last week, or 2 weeks ago, maybe it was, and they've got people talking. Your graphics have people talking. You summarize these coming changes so well. So we've got coming up changes to Google Classroom. Some of those get me really excited. Some Meet updates, some Drive updates, and some Chromebook updates. Bring us into these changes. Talk about what is coming down the Google pipeline.
Yeah, so February 17th, Google hosted a live event. It was the Learning with Google event, and it was great. It was the first time they've done something like this. So basically, instead of just slowly dripping out blog posts with features here and there, they decided to kind of reveal their entire roadmap for 2021. So tons of exciting new features coming to your favorite Google products. Like you said, Classroom, Meet, Drive, Chromebooks. Some of them are coming soon. Some of them will be available later in 2021. So we don't have a ton of information about all of them. We're just going to hit some of the highlights. Tim's got the graphic up there. So here are some of the things you can expect to see inside of Google Classroom in the immediate future, meaning this school year, as well as the next school year. So probably in the fall. The one that most teachers are pretty excited about is this one right here, which is rich text editing. I know this has been a hot request forever. So you can now, bold, italic, add bullet points to your assignments and instructions. That should make them a lot easier for students to read. Google Classroom is extremely text heavy. We've all been using emojis and fancy text to get around this. So it'll just be kind of built in and ready to go. That one is going to be available very soon. I would expect possibly, again, I'm speculating, but I would say within the next 30 days, I would expect to see that coming up. Another one that I'm excited about is this one here on engagement tracking. Mm-hmm. Right now it's pretty limited. I mean, you can see when a student turns something in, you can see if they don't turn it in, but that's about it. It's like, you don't know if they logged in, you don't know if they viewed an assignment. I've seen some screenshots of this, and it does provide a teacher with much more information on what someone is actually doing inside of Classroom. So the way it looks like it's going to work is that when you go to the People tab in Google Classroom, right now you just see a list of your students, but it'll add additional columns where you'll actually be able to see when they logged in and what assignments that they've viewed. So that's a good one. So there's lots of other ones. We can't cover everything here, but you can see some of the other things that are coming. And again, Google did announce along all of these updates that they are changing the name to Google Workspace for Education. We knew that was going to happen eventually. And they also announced 3 different tiers. So I am sad that we no longer have the simplicity of Google is Google for all. There's now the free version, Then there's kind of a middle tier, and then there's a premium tier, which currently is, we know as G Suite for Education Enterprise. But again, all of the features you see on your screen right now are free, with the exception of these couple that are have a little dollar sign on them. So add-ons for Classroom and SAS Roster Sync, that's kind of a back-end admin level thing. But everything else you see included for free. And they said that 90+% of the new features they'll develop will be available for free, which I'm grateful for.
Hey, John, we had a great question. You may not know the answer to this one, but Brian Carpenter is asking, will rich text include hyperlinks?
It's a good question, Brian. I'm not 100% sure. So currently, you just add your hyperlink as a link to the assignment. So as an attachment, and that makes it clickable, and it also gives you a little preview. I think that hyperlinks are clickable if you include them in the post. I do believe you have to include the HTTP, but I think you can click them now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to Brian, actually, is I know you can for sure right now in an assignment description, you can post hyperlinks that do, obviously they're clickable. So Brian, let us know, maybe I'm missing something there, but let us know what you mean by that. And John, you talked about fonts, bolding, italics. Do you know if we can change the font size, or maybe that's to be determined as well?
Yeah, no font size and no font changes. And again, I want to clarify this because people ask all the time. You have to remember that people are going to be accessing Google Classroom on all kinds of devices, big screens, small screens, Android, iOS, old computers, laptops from, 1998, and it's got to work. And so the fancier, the fonts especially, can be problematic with some of those devices. So I wouldn't expect being able to change the fonts anytime soon.
But hey, you know what? Just saying rich text editing, for those of us that do live in Classroom every day, as I do, that is really, really exciting. And I know teachers everywhere, John, are saying, about time, Google. Give us some options.
Correct. Yes, for sure. For sure. And, this is the part where, in addition to all these great features, everybody is now, throwing out their laundry list of, well, why didn't they do this? And why didn't they do that? There's no end of features that teachers are interested in seeing.
All right, let's talk about Google Meet.
Yeah, Google Meet updates. We've got some kind of obvious ones that you knew had to be coming, such as multiple meeting moderators. Frankly, that should have been included from the beginning. If you have co-teachers, both of you need to be able to manage the meeting. So that will be coming at some point. Then you have all these great features down here just for improved classroom management. So the remove all is actually live right now. So that's the first feature. I don't know if you've seen that, Tim, but when you end your meeting, it'll say, do you want to end the call for everyone? It's great. Mute all and the mic lock are huge fan favorites. So not only can you mute your students with one click, but you can also prevent them from unmuting themselves, which is great.
I like the virtual, sorry to jump in there.
Yeah.
I like the virtual meeting rosters. If I'm reading your information correctly, that means I can sort of handpick students from my classroom and just create a meet with those students. Is that right?
No, it's more of, it just solidifies the relationship between Google Classroom and Google Meet. So if you are using the Meet link in Google Classroom, it will now only allow teachers who are listed, or students who are listed on the roster, to join the meeting. So there have been issues where students are joining from other classes within the district, but different classes. And so it just says, this is the roster. These are the people who can join, and that's it. So it will be very important to make sure that your Google Classroom roster is accurate, especially if students switch hours or periods. You need to make sure they have access to the correct room.
All right, welcome to the show. We've got even more KBs coming in, so this is
a lot of KBs. All right, well, next time I'm going to invite the Sowashes. There's about 30 of us all together.
Oh my gosh, this is a lot of fun. Well, welcome to my lovely wife, and my third brother Andrew is viewing as well. So
Andrew, I'm sorry that you are referred to as the third brother. Andrew, you're a great man.
That sounds like you're the third brother, I'm guessing. Maybe.
No, I'm the first.
Oh,
I'm oldest,
okay.
and oldest and best.
All right, we've got my colleague Eric Findlay here as well. Great to see you, Eric. And Rochelle is joining. I just listened to Rochelle's episode on AI. That was very encouraging. Eric says meeting rosters sound like an extension of the quick access feature. You probably know what he means by that. I would have to go look at it.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Quick access just means that the people within your domain can join without having to request. So so this means that the students in your class roster do not need to request access to join the meeting. So yeah, that's a good assessment.
Google Drive, what's happening here, John?
Yeah, a couple of technical things. But the one that has teachers most excited is the Google Form update, save forms in draft response. So, I've always discouraged teachers from, creating quizzes that are more than 10 questions, something that could easily be completed in one sitting, because if your Wi-Fi goes out, if you click the wrong button, if, a student, that bell rings and they have to go to the next class, there's no way to save what they've done. Well, that is changing. This will now work. Now, it does appear that this is specifically linked to a quiz. So, again, we haven't seen it, but I don't believe that this feature will work if you're just doing kind of a form for just general, filling out a survey or something like that. So the quiz button has to be clicked on. It has to collect the email address so that it can save those responses somewhere, and it saves them for 30 days.
That makes perfect sense. They've got to, obviously, people have to be signed in, right? Otherwise, it could just be anyone filling it out. And then how could it possibly save? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Now, this one is also, I think, pretty close to being launched because there is an open invitation for beta testers. I'm going to pull up the link here. If you are interested in testing this feature, you can sign up to beta test it. I just checked. It is still open. I'll drop the link in the chat here, Tim. I don't know if we have a way of pushing that out, but you can just Google it. It's all over Twitter. So if you're interested in that, sign up. They indicated that the beta would launch early Q2 and that it would be publicly available in late second quarter. So not too far.
Sounds good. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah, Jamboard. Talk about Jamboard because, John, you've done a lot of teaching around Jamboard. I feel like I'm underutilizing it. I'm encouraged to hear that now we've got revision history on the way.
Yeah, someone clicked the wrong button a few weeks ago because this feature went live for a couple of days and a bunch of people found it and it didn't work correctly, but all kinds of blog posts were written and people were like, yes, it's here. And then it disappeared. So somebody at Google clicked the wrong button and everybody got it for a couple of days. So we knew that was coming. And again, I mean, people expect this with Google now. Revision history is just a standard feature. So it was, surprising not to have it in Jamboard, especially for a tool that moves so quickly and so many edits can take place.
Yeah. The link that John mentioned a few moments ago, I've shared on YouTube. I can't share it here in the broadcast in a way that would be clickable, but if you are watching us on YouTube, and we've got Tim Belmont over there, Andrew Cavey, Brian, Rochelle, you should be able to click on that link in the chat. I just want to welcome Tim and Chris Loro, another former colleague. Chris says, what is Jamboard? John, we probably don't have time to go fully into it, but why don't you summarize it for us?
Yeah, it's a virtual whiteboard as easiest way to describe it. Virtual whiteboard that's Googleified. So very Googly, collaboration is a central feature. So there are lots of whiteboarding tools, but Google does collaboration better than anybody else. Yeah,
just picture, Chris, kids can write on Post-it notes and then drag them around the screen. You can assemble them any way you want, draw lines, add text.
Just imagine 30 kids standing up in the front of your classroom with Expo markers. That's basically Jamboard right there.
Sounds like a good educational experience.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Chromebook. Now, I live in a Chromebook world, so I'm very interested in these updates. Tell us about what's coming here.
Yeah, no, I think we were a little ahead of the game, Tim, because I think last month we talked about better
Right.
screenshots and screen recording. So that's a feature I have access to. It is beta test. It's behind a flag right now, but you can turn it on if you want. Works very, very well. Actually, let me do a quick, I'll just turn it on. So I initiate a screenshot on my Chromebook, and this is what I get. So you can see the new screenshot interface is I can select my screen to pick an area, and be much more precise than I could in the past. And
Nice.
then down here is where you'll see the option to toggle between the screen recording and just a still image. So
John, can you follow through on that? Like, I'm interested to see. So you've got the Google Classroom icon selected. What is the next step? Like, can you save directly to your drive and then organize? Like, can you select the folder you want to send it to, or what does that look like?
So when I click it still works exactly the same as screenshots do today. So when I click capture, it's just going to say screenshots taken, and it will go wherever your downloads are configured to save. Mine just go to my local storage, but you can configure it to save directly to Google Drive if you want.
Okay, I'm sort of exposing my ignorance on the fact that I don't actually use a Chromebook regularly myself. So
Tim,
I need to hop back on one of those. Yeah. All right.
No, I want to just highlight this because it doesn't get a lot of attention, but this is what I'm excited about. So Google dropped this in. We really don't know what, a whole lot about this. I have been to a couple of meetings where Google has continued to drop little hints, but if I had to guess, I think specifically in response to COVID, Google is trying to reimagine the process of capturing learning videos. And so they've added the live screen recording. It does record audio. I think they're going to add annotations in there. And there's some other features that I've heard whispers and rumors of that this may be cool. This may turn Chromebooks into a really good tool for capturing and recording, lectures and direct instruction.
I saw someone using that on a YouTube live stream the other day. I don't know if it was well, obviously it's coming out later in 2021, but they had some kind of an application where they were able to stream or screencast somebody's YouTube channel and then mark it up live.
Yep.
And I don't really have a tool where I can do that right now. So to be able to do that on a Chromebook would be excellent. And it makes me think of all kinds of, you and I were talking off air about just the power of kids being able to annotate, whether it's diagrams or drawings, or, I can see all kinds of applications in math, identification. The possibilities are endless when it comes to easy annotation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it should be good. I'm a big Screencastify user myself, and I can do all of this, but there are a lot of districts that are very reluctant to approve extensions, allow extensions. The process is long and arduous to get them approved. And so just having it built in and not have to go through any administrative process to get this very important tool is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. What do you have next in your, are we through all of our updates?
Those are the updates. We just hit the highlights and there's more things coming up. I'm going to put a little plug in. I want you to keep your ear to the ground, especially for Chromebook updates. Next week is the 10th anniversary of Chromebooks. And there are some special things that are planned that you should hear here early next week.
That's pretty amazing. It doesn't feel like it's been 10 years. I still remember clearly when they came out, and there was a ton of excitement around an idea, this idea of this revolutionary cheap laptop option for kids that was going to put a laptop in the hands of every learner that wanted, or every school that wanted one, I guess. So Chromebooks have come a long way. I remember the first one I had was, to put it kindly, it was not very well built. It started, the shell started falling apart.
No question.
But they've come a long way. All right. Next up, shifting gears, John, you and I talked off air about Whiteboard.fi. That's not what we're going to focus on right now. Whiteboard.fi, to get back to Chris Loro's question, is another great whiteboard solution in the classroom. I used it for the first time actually a week or two ago in my math class. Really liked it. You've got something that I can't ever tell, or I don't know if it's related in terms of the company, if it's from the same source, but talk to us about Whiteboard Chat.
Yeah, each month we do these updates. We want to bring you some new features, and we also want to make sure that we provide you with a new teaching strategy or an idea that you could potentially use in your classroom. And today I'd like to highlight a tool called Whiteboard.chat. Now, there's a lot of whiteboards out there. We talked about Jamboard. Tim mentioned Whiteboard.fi, and these are all good tools. Each of them has kind of their unique spin on things. It is my recommendation that you use Whiteboard.chat to teach a lesson. So you would use Whiteboard.chat as a replacement for your physical whiteboard. So pre-COVID, you'd stand up in front of your classroom, in front of the whiteboard, the chalkboard, and you would just sketch, draw, doodle. Now that you're virtual, you're blended, or you just like the flexibility of teaching with a digital tool, Whiteboard.chat is a great option. So Tim, if you go ahead and throw it up there, I'll just do a quick demo. Now, look, Whiteboard.chat, if there's one knock that I have against Whiteboard.chat, it's like everything in the kitchen sink. Like, this thing has so many features, it's a little overwhelming. So you gotta have to spend some time playing with it to understand what you're doing here. So, I was a biology teacher, so perhaps we'll do a little Punnett square here. And this is the kind of teaching where, it's not scripted. You just want the flexibility to go here and, change things and teach a lesson kind of on the fly spontaneously. So let's go ahead and, we'll do a single factor cross. So we've got a homozygous dominant and a homozygous recessive, and we'll cross them here, and you'd see the resulting mix. So something like this, this is the kind of lesson that you would be potentially teaching with this. Whiteboard.chat can do a ton of things. So I've got some files here. You can upload a PDF. You can upload images and drop them in here and use that to kind of annotate on top of. So here's my P's, the yellow and the green, the recessive traits. So this is the kind of thing that you would do with Whiteboard.chat. Now you can do this through Google Meet. You can share your screen through Zoom. You can record this using Screencastify, and the students can watch it on their own time. It's infinite. So if I want a new page, I just go to a new page and I can save these and download them for future use. Now, Tim, you said you were teaching math. So there's a cool feature here I want to highlight. This is called grids. And this allows you to specify multiple backgrounds. So if we want to do a coordinate plane, to actually graph, a math problem, we can do that. If you are a music teacher, we can do music sheet. If you're an elementary teacher, we can do handwriting practice. We've got storyboards, all kinds of interesting, things on here that you can use. So again, Whiteboard.chat, it has so many features. It's a little overwhelming, but it is the most robust way to replace your, physical whiteboard, your physical chalkboard with a great learning tool. So check it out. And I should mention, this is also really cool, 100% free. So this is a free product. There is no premium version. There's no locked features. You get it all.
That's not the view I wanted. I have a question that I know would be an important one for my IT department. Do students need to log in to access this?
You can do it either way. So I know you have experience with Whiteboard.fi. There's a couple ways I can do it. I can share my screen like we're doing right now, and you can just watch. I can also invite students to join the meeting. And I can do that anonymously, or I can connect it to Google Classroom and allow them to sign in, kind of like a Google Doc. This thing is crazy. It even includes video calls. So like you can do a video inside of Whiteboard.chat if you're not using Google Meet or Zoom. It does so much. So yeah, it's up to you how deep you want to go into it. You can also give your students editing access. You could like do a problem and then send it to them. They can do it. You can pull theirs up and show it to the class. It's very, very robust.
Why is it called Chat, John? Do you know?
Probably because whiteboard.com was taken, would be my guess.
That was misleading me for so long. I'm like resentful because this tool looks amazing, but I thought, oh, I don't need a chat tool in my classroom. That's fine.
I mean, you got whiteboard.fi, you got whiteboard.chat. I just think all the .coms, .nets, they're just running out of options.
Well, Eric says, we don't need an account. Nice. I hate needing more accounts. And I hear him on that. This looks like it has a ton of potential. I'm going to need to play with this tool for sure. John, we're running short on time. I know you had a demo slam in mind. So unless I see another question pop up here about Whiteboard Chat, there was something else I wanted to ask. It's going to come back to me as soon as we close the broadcast. But go ahead and talk to us. Yeah, talk to us about annotations on Chrome Canvas.
Yeah, I guess this is the annotation and drawing episode.
Right.
Worked out that way. But I guess I was a little frustrated by how rigid teaching with technology can be. If you create a Google slide or a PowerPoint presentation, like, if it's not on the slide deck, you can't talk about it. It's just not very flexible. But tools like Jamboard, Whiteboard.chat, or this one here, which is called Chrome Canvas, gives you that same kind of spontaneous ability to draw, sketch, and annotate. So this is a free tool by Google. It's available at canvas.apps.chrome. And it allows you to either free draw or edit from an image. And I use this to create all kinds of graphics and things for like my blog or website or for quizzes. So I taught anatomy and physiology for a while. So this might be an image that I want to turn into a quiz question. So I'm going to go in here. I just, screenshotted or downloaded this image. I'm going to go ahead and change to the marker. We'll use a nice vibrant color. And, my students need to know these bones. So this big one right here, I'm going to label this A. That's the femur. And then the tibia over here, we'll label that B. And then this one over here, we'll label that C. So I can do simple things like that. Then I can download this image and then drop it into a Google form, a worksheet. I can drop it into whiteboard.chat or Jamboard or Google Doc or wherever I want that image to go. Chrome Canvas is a simple tool with powerful capabilities. It's not overwhelming. I mean, I'm not a professional artist, so I don't need, 8,000 writing utensils and things. It gives me what I need. It is layered. I can go in here and sketch and draw and do some, really nifty things to images and use them in my classroom. Let me just close by saying you're going to need one of two things. You're either going to want a touchscreen Chromebook, which I am a huge fan of. And yes, you can do something like this with your finger, but I would recommend getting some kind of a digital stylus. These are becoming very affordable and easy to find, easier. 20, 25 bucks for these, which work very well. If you're going to do a lot of annotations, if you're going to teach a lesson with a tool like Whiteboard.chat for 20 minutes, writing on a vertical screen, not the best. So I would recommend some kind of a drawing tablet like this. This is the one by Wacom. I've been using this, is what I've been using during this episode. And it's just a lot easier to precisely annotate and draw. So if you're a math teacher and you're going to do lessons, you're going to want something like this. And these are very affordable. This one here is 60 bucks. It works with Chromebooks, Mac, PC. Just plug it in and it does its thing.
Well, I don't know, Eric, if you are still watching, but for math teachers watching on the broadcast or catching this on the replay, check out that tablet. We did talk about it last month as well, but I didn't even think about it during this broadcast, and that seemed to work really, really well for you. So just to summarize again, today we saw updates coming to Classroom, Meet, Drive, and Chromebooks. We took a look at Whiteboard.chat, and we took a look at Chrome Canvas. And you're right, the theme today really was annotation. And we said earlier that I think at some point we're going to have to do a whole show just on tablet use. I think that's an area, as you said, that you're passionate about, right, John?
I wasn't the person who said the penny is mightier than the sword, but it still holds true today. And you do not need an iPad with an Apple Pencil to annotate. You can do it with your Chromebook for far less money, and it works very, very well.
John, let us know where we can connect with you and find out more from the Chromebook Classroom.
Yeah, I'd love to connect with you. I'm on all the socials, pretty active on Instagram these days at JR Sowash. Head over there. And then my website, blog, podcast, videos, all of that is available at chrmbook.com.
I got to say, make sure you subscribe to John's YouTube channel. John's kind of my idol when it comes to this YouTube game, and his educational videos here in the Google Workspace or Google environment are the best out there that you will find as a teacher. So if you're looking to find your way around the Google Workspace, John is your guy. John, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Tim, great to be with you as always.
All right, take care. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye-bye.